looking at, we're going to turn our eyes to mechanical skills. Mechanical skills are some of those skills that have helped the youth, that have uprooted cultures in the youth to actually get more money throughout their skills and throughout the trainings that they've been getting. The new technology is set to ease mechanical services for the young mechanics. And if we're to look at this, that in the line of skilling up the youth, mechanic skills can make you survive as well as developed through, though in most cases, if you look at that, people take it as a job for the illiterates. If you're to see in the long run, mechanical skills definitely referred to as jobs for the illiterate or but experienced mechanics have shown concerns over the new technology that has been developed to some difficult mechanical problem, and to some extent it is going to ease a huge burden on mechanical problems in a shortest period of time. And people who would like to join this business should first get knowledge and understand how to use these particular gadgets. These details are regarding mechanical skills. Let's have a look at this report.
When you go to an area and don't find a garage, it might mean people in that area have no car. But in most areas, you will find garages, and they do employ a number of youth, those who have not studied and those that have stopped in some levels and have failed to go beyond with their studies. Senior mechanic John Martin from Wandegea says with the new technology coming one out every year, someone should have studied to understand, know how to read and to write.
With the technology that's coming on, that's from the word what our managers just talked about, that we train individuals who at least have gone to school to a certain level, those who can address issues, be it written or. So we managed to import, like the gadgets we have just seen, that computer. And we are still importing more. There's even one coming from London. We imported it to at least to help us to soften those difficult works, which is too technological. That because even there are certain jobs you cannot, regardless of the experience, you cannot just use your head. Certain things you need gadgets, just like you have gone to the hospital to treat malaria, and before the doctor comes in, you first check X-ray. That one simplifies and gives you even room to treat the exact. So with the gadgets, we have machines around us that can help us in different aspects of our work on a daily basis, and we are still importing more because we have come to realize that now the whites are leaving us behind, and we are lagging, and we also need to cope up with certain things to make sure that we are at par and we give the best quality in mechanics.
However, finding them with many cars in a queue in garages does not mean they get money easier. They also stretch with their customers for payments. Some take long to take them, and others make these mechanics to use their own money and they don't repay them, which challenges them.
The customers also alone, some customers stands out to be a challenge to us. Like you get a client who brings their car to be worked on, but then when he reaches the workshop, then again you find them changing, like, as if I'm not ready, but you can work on it, I'm going to look for money. Then again you find you retaining that car there for even like up to 1 year or 2 years. Even if you call them, they don't pick you up, they tell them still looking for money. Now that one, it becomes a challenge to us when, for example, we're looking at the park, we have a queue, we have other cars to be parked, to be worked on, and now we still have this one tying us, and now the customers not that they have refused, but they have failed or they have delayed to make payment in time. And also there are also these other clients who will just come and play around, say, no, please you work on my car and bring the money. Then when they come, they can bring stories, say, no, what? I'm going to send you the money tomorrow. Remember, you've picked parts from maybe the supplier, because you have agents who supplies us the parts. And now if the client goes and doesn't pay, it means that it's you who was fully responsible for that car. It's the one to pick your money to pay the parts supplier or the parts agent, because now you cannot go chasing after client. You cannot say arrest someone over maybe 200, you can't arrest them. We also give them respect at a certain level. And also within ourselves also have challenges. Sometimes Because we are here in number, but not all of us here think the same way. Yeah, there are those people also sometimes also maybe to say they come a little bit late to work, they report late, and also those are the small issues. Then is also within ourselves, and maybe the customers who are stubborn to us.
Some mechanics seem not to see how the government can help them in their business.
Government has a lot of problems. At times, they don't even feel to finish it. So that one, I don't think whether it's within the government.
Customers should know that when you take your car to the garage, you will need to pay for every service you will be rendered, but also don't forget your car. It will be good if you take it after they have worked on it and leave space for others who are in need of the same services to utilize the garage.
Sounds of Gloria Mbabazi. And when you go to an area and never find the garage, it might mean that most of the people in the area don't have mechanics or don't have, let's say, very few people have needs for the garage, because in most cases, lately, garages are growing up, and you could see some people choose to go to petrol stations for their service, maybe their motorcycle service, their vehicle servicing, their monthly servicing of the vehicles. Others choose to go to their local mechanics or their mechanics in the areas. And in most of the situations in Uganda, back in the time, a mechanic was referred to as an illiterate. Why? Because some people actually thought for one to be a mechanic, you haven't been through school, or you've never gone through school. Why? Because maybe some believe that with mechanics, most of them, they just get their hands-on skills. Sometimes back, it was quite right, but with the advancement in technology, you'd find a number of institutions teaching a number of courses related to mechanical skills in order to keep these people with training, because training is very, very vital if at all you want to execute something of this particular nature, more so when you're doing science-related courses, and more so the practical-related courses. And we all know science courses, and when you look at also sometimes some of the humanity courses, maybe like journalism, are some of those practical courses that one can easily take on. But among the science courses, we can all agree that most of them are very, very practical. And as a matter of fact, with the fact that they are very practical, one can choose to either go for a mechanical skill or to actually go and visit a garage, start doing the practicals by studying what the other mechanics are doing. And however, there is a very huge challenge with the mechanics, that some people tend not to pay the money. Why? Because the mechanics feel that sometimes a client will bring in their car or will bring in their motorcycle when they want it serviced, or they want you to do some work on it, and then they will pay in the long run, something that affects the outcome of the situation. Well, when you look at that, in some cases, it is affecting even leave alone the mechanics, but if you're to look at most of the jobs in the world, is that when someone is expecting to render service, there is always something he's waiting for, either allowances or someone is waiting for payment. And it may be allowances in form of appreciation, or you just give them a token of appreciation. Then there are others that are waiting for pay, or a wage, or salary at the end of the month or at the end of the week. So this is where people need to also understand that once you've been given a service and you ought to pay, do not leave the person that is demanding you this money, or the person who has worked on you, hanging. And also in the mechanic sector here, as they say that some people never pay, and after that the mechanics are supposed to use their own money, and after the mechanics use their own money, different charges are incurred in there, and the possibilities of someone getting money out of it becomes very difficult in the long run. Well, when you look at that, following up on all the situations, customers should definitely know that if you take your car to a garage, you'll need to pay for every service that you will be rendered. But also, they should not forget their car. because it is also good if you take your car after being worked on, because sometimes there are some stories which are also related to our garages here in Kampala or even in Uganda mainly, that once your car stays for quite a long time, either the mechanic may take out a very sensitive part and then put it on sale, or there are chances that the mechanic himself can drive around with your car and then do any other business associated with that particular car, or maybe use it for his own transportation, or as well as transporting some of his goods and services, all that in that regard. So for anyone out there, it is a win-win situation for both of the two people, more so when you pay for the service so that the mechanic can definitely work on you, and also keeping up with this mechanic to see that nothing happens or to your car, because these are some of the sensitive parts. When you look at sensitive assets, one would be a car, and also people who definitely ride bodas or bajaj or any sort of motorcycle that will be. So to all of those, very sensitive assets in there, and one would definitely want to watch over before anything gets spoiled in there. But pretty much when you look at the mechanical skills, to the young youth out there who are keeping up with trying as much as they can to get relevant skills, being a mechanic can actually work for you, because with the new advancement in technology, there would be it will actually be a smooth way for you to carry on with your mechanical services for the young mechanics. So definitely it is a skill, and for those that are actually joining technical institutions can be of the same view that, hey, you can become very successful with these particular skills of mechanics. We've seen a number of mechanics who actually started from working at fuel stations, moving on to start up their own garages after building a very steady work base or a very steady customer base, and a number of them are actually employing people. And then you would still find out some of them are illiterate, like they normally say, or they didn't go to school, but have been able to acquire the most relevant of all things, that is the skill in the mechanical world. So when you can definitely get those skills and adopt, and you can train others to be important in society, then you're good to go. Well, with that, we're going to take a short break, and when we do return, we shall be looking at the SMB across borders to check out what is happening across the other countries. Let's speak the East African Community Bloc, let's talk of Africa, and we can still talk of Asia, the United States, and also Europe, to see what is happening from the world of business, some of the highlights that you might have missed across different business channels. But with that, this is SMB, and we take